This one, I think, may bring the funk back. This is a real showstopper. This is from Glen Moray. It's 35.241, a real showstopper, 13-year-old, and 55.6% alcohol by volume, one of 237. Refill hogshead, ex-bourbon. Do you want to read the notes on the banana sprinkle?
Yeah, read the notes on the banana sprinkle while I finish the glass.
Ah.
I poured all of it in here, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I'm going to finish it.
Good for you.
It was so good. I really liked it.
All right. This says the aromas are all sweetness and spice. I think we would agree with that. Notes of chocolate sprinkles on banana split, cocoa, caramel sauce on a cream and spiced muscovado.
Isn't that like a dessert? Isn't that a dessert drink? I believe it's a dessert drink.
Muscovado?
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
It'll be down there, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, there it is. There you go, Speyside. And this one's another Speyside. Real showstopper. And I won't read the label on that one yet. But
yeah.
Thank you for the pointing on Speyside. It's quite pale.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
there's that funk, but it's
an ex-bourbon.
It's not overwhelming. It's just a little bit of funk.
It's just a little funk. It may come through more in the taste.
I like that it's a very precise funk. It's like normally the funk is like, and this is like funk. Like it's just, it's very.
It's like one flute in the background.
It's like jazz flute. Yeah.
A jazz flute.
In the middle of a funk riff.
Ooh, I like it though. Yeah, I want to say like this nose now that we're talking about like I mean this might be influencing me, but I feel like this is like this is a music room. Like that's what this is. That smell, you go into a music room and you can smell the musical instruments, the old instruments, that sort of like paper, and I don't know that like a music. It has like a very specific smell to it. You know what I mean? Like
this is by far my favorite so far.
Mm-hmm.
That is delicious.
It's definitely one of the fully ex-bourbon ones that we've had. So it's going to have a lot more of the bourbon notes in it.
It was funny that you say that because on the finish, I was like, that had a bit of a bourbon finish.
Yeah, this one was also bourbon, the previous one. But this one is almost.
Well, then I'm biased, so that's you can't take anything I say for
No.
So are you saying it was finished in bourbon casks? Is that what you're saying? Or
no, it was aged in bourbon. Totally bourbon.
Oh, okay.
So hogsheads where they rebuilt the cask to be a little larger.
Yeah, this is a really good Scotch, James. I agree with you. Like to me, it's one of those ones that's just so it's just in the pocket. Like it's just like it's a nice specific.
I like the second level too. The second level was good. That's whatever term I reinvent terms for things. I'm sure that's not like normal nomenclature in this world, but I'm like second level. I like the second level.
So explain what you mean by the second level, because I'm not sure I can.
I like to call inventing terms term inventioneering. It's a term that I made up. So that's kind of third level, but it's fun. Yeah.
So second level, what does that mean to you?
That's the body, not the nose, not the finish. That's second level. The bit in the middle, Right. Yeah, it's.
So sometimes I think of it as like a musical, like they say have like attack and decay. So what is that part in the middle like when you talk about like a note? What is it? Or maybe it doesn't have a name, but it's sustain. It's the sustain. Attack, sustain, decay. So would that be kind of what you're talking about, or?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's your metaphor, man.
I made a career out of this. I just find my way through the dark room.
We're all doing that.
Oh, goodness.
It's everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. What was that? What was the name? Really I'm going to go back and screenshot that one. I'm going to get me a bottle of that. That's good stuff.
Here's the problem with that is that this is the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, so you have to be a member to buy it, or you have to get it on auction. And they do sell out because there are only 237 bottles of this in the world.
That's the way it goes.
Yep.
Find something you like. It's super rare.
You don't taste it in advance. You have to kind of buy it off of name, or if you go to a preview tasting, maybe you taste it there. So sometimes the name, you just have to go, yeah, whatever they tasted, whatever they thought that was, I want some of that.
Sure.
I do get super excited whenever Andrew pulls up a Scotch Whiskey Society bottle, and I immediately recognize they have that distinctive, they have that line, and I'm always like, yes, like I get excited whenever I see one, because they're always
they have just
special.
redesigned this is not quite this will change the next bottles I get. I
it also allows you access to a thing you didn't have to pay for, which is always great. Like, thank you for that access, sir.
Yeah, well,
it's better shared.
It is way better shared. Like, I would not be drinking at 2 p.m. on a Sunday if you folks weren't with me. There's no incentive there.
I will say quarantine has definitely moved up happy hour in our house.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It just keeps creeping up each week. Like 3:30. It's getting close.
It is the one thing I notice most people the thing that's shared most often is like, when can I start drinking? People keep.
Have you seen the stats? Alcohol sales are 1,200% since the quarantine.
Wow.
Now,
I wonder if that's like the toilet paper, where that's offset because people are not going out after work anymore and they're consuming at home instead of at bars.
It's probably many layers of an onion, right? Like, it's definitely that. It's probably depression and dealing with your mood. It's probably boredom. There could be a litany of things that contribute to that stat.
Yeah. I think a lot of people.
You've got an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old at home, and you're now working and homeschooling them.
You have to kind of increase your relaxation. You've got to up it a notch. It has to be concentrated relaxation. And I feel like sometimes that's what alcohol does. It's like, I will now relax. I have to force myself to relax, right? Because it's like, I can't just sit around for 3 hours. I need to relax right now. Right?
Forced relaxation.
It is a drug.
Booze. I like it.
I like this one. It's kind of not knocking my socks off. Like, I don't think it's my favorite today. I think so far the banana split was my favorite.
I don't know. I agree with James. Like, this is a showstopper for me. I really like this. And I guess it's just because
everyone's got their own.
You should be.
How dare you not like what I like? Have you been on the internet? You're supposed to love what I love.
It's not subjective. This is empirical information.
Forgot. I get a funk at the end of this one. This is the funk that I smelt in the nose when I first opened it. So I don't dislike this. Don't get me wrong. This is a very nice Scotch.
If you want to get rid of that bottle, I know somebody.
Yeah.
I will say that the first hit was better than the end. So it tailed for me even. My reaction, I would have probably needed to drink this several times before writing an official review.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, and when we do sample them at our society, we do tell people, take 2 or 3 sips before you write your review, before you decide if you like it or don't, because your first sip is just going to wash away whatever was in there. The next one, you're starting to taste it, and by the third one, you really get kind of what this thing is.
I'm gonna science this.
Okay.
Do it.
We await your verdict. The funk in the finish is a very long sustain. Like that kind of like sour, funky note at the end. It stays and stays and stays. And it's not an unwelcome sour thing. It is like a lemon curd kind of sourness that is kind of yummy and umami.
Umami?
I love edamame.
Armani.
It's very edamame. Armani. Good.
Yeah, this is the science. I like it. Like, it definitely, it kind of actually smells it's sweeter. It kind of reminds me of the banana split. Like it lightens it up a bit in a good way. I don't dislike the nose.
I'm going in.
Andrew, we have a problem. You only gave us 5 of these. We need like 10.
I gave you an ounce and a half of each, though. You should be fine.
I'm not filling them all up. I learned my lesson on my first flight.
Yeah, I liked it. It's different. There's more fire in it. Like I like both. I think I like it slightly better without the water, but there's a bit more I don't know. There's more heat, I think, with the water in the flavor. Do you want to try sciencing one, James? Do you have some water there?
I'll have to science the next one.
We can cut it. You can go get some water and come back. It's not.
No,
this isn't like,
He's got water. He just finished his glass and he's rinsed it.
There's
and he's
nothing
got
to
the new
sign.
one. That's what I'm
all
thinking.
right. Yeah, because it is, to me, it's really interesting, like to notice the difference. Like it, because it is surprising. Like I don't feel like I have a refined palate, but it's such a difference sometimes between with the water and without the water. Sometimes there's no difference at all, and sometimes it's like, holy shit, this is like a different drink.
The spice and burn in the finish is way more pronounced.
Yeah.
That's an interesting spice, though. It kind of complements the
That reminds me.
sourness. Uh-oh. He left the kettle on.
Did he?
I don't know.
What Joseph was saying is he was like, I agree. Like my favorite bourbon that I'm drinking right now is
Four Roses.
Four Roses. I love Four Roses.
Yes.
But it's the small batch select. So this is,
Oh.
they've got quite a few different variations, but this one I think finished in the top 10 for the year last year in 2019. And this one is very much like that, is where if you just a single ice cube, I mean, it's a totally different drink, right? Like it's a totally different bourbon experience. So anyway, I just wanted to show up.
The water and the coldness, the water is going to push the alcohol molecules apart a little bit more. So you should get more of the aroma coming out.